Good morning, everybody. It's Jim Feist in Las Vegas, joined again by Hank Goldberg. Good morning, Hank.
How you doing, Jim?
I'm good. We got some preseason games coming up tomorrow. We got a full weekend of preseason games. It's really the official first week, other than that, the not All-Star game, Hall of Fame game. You seeing anything that you want to tell the fans about, or talk about? About the big games.
I think there are coaches who like to win these games that I'm pointing out on our service. For example, I'll give you one here. Minnesota coach Zimmer, 14-3 in preseason games, 5-0 in his initial games, and they're playing Denver, but Denver went. It was perfect last year in Vance's initial season, but Zimmer has a definite pattern. In preseason, he likes to win these games. There are two other coaches who I pointed out who are in the same situation. One of them, the line has moved up on. The other one has not. So I'm looking for that, for coaches who like to win preseason games, and there's three of them that stand out tomorrow.
Well, that's good information, and you put that together with quarterback rotations and how long the starters are going to play, et cetera, et cetera. You put that all together, you come up with a winning preseason, and I'm sure everybody knows that both of us have had that in the past. Anything going on in baseball that lights your fire?
Well, pennant races are interesting. The Yankees, I thought maybe had turned things around, and then they'd blow another game late. I guess they had 2 wins. They were looking for 2 wins in a row at Chicago against the White Sox. They were winning 3-1, and the White Sox tied it up with a 2-run home run in the late innings again. They've got a very soft schedule now, and they're going to get their guys healthy, and I think they're going to come back and still be interesting at the end of the season. But the Dodgers had a good win last night in a game that they needed, and that pennant race out west is one to really keep an eye on. It's nothing changes there. That's pretty much it. Red Sox are really tough. They're going to set all kinds of records this year. That Dombrowski's an amazing guy.
Well, baseball comes down to the way baseball is being played these days. There's a lot of dependence on the setup man and the closers and the whole, relief corps, bullpen situation. You're betting in the initial bet. Initial line is made off the starting pitchers, but your starting pitchers are going 5-6 innings. For the most part. That's basically the rule of thumb. And then you get into the others, and you see teams blowing leads. Like, for example, San Francisco Giants have done the last couple games against Houston. They've had leads, they've blown it. This is over and over and over again. These bullpens are not consistent, and you're betting the games based on the pitchers, and the bullpens are blowing the games. And it's a Giles.
Well, I'll tell you one pitcher who can't get a break is Greinke, one of the best pitchers in baseball. They never get him any runs.
That's right. You're absolutely right. And then you'll have other pitchers that are, have a terrible line score for their outing, but they get a lot of runs and they keep winning. So it's really the game is different, and we're adjusting, and we're able to beat it, but it's tougher than it used to be because you have to handicap 4 and 5 pitchers that might be available for the game instead of just 1 or 2. So it's a different game.
Let's talk more football. I'm bored with baseball talk all the time. It's the same conversation every day. But let's talk Chargers for a moment. The Chargers seem to be the romantic team of all the handicappers, and yet they're not blessed. And here we go again with the Chargers. Bosa was taken off the field. If something happens to Joey Bosa and he can't go, that takes away half the pass rush. He's a beast, that guy, and if he and they got to be really scared to death right now about the degree of his injury, and it's an area where it could be serious. You know, the Chargers can never get a break. You know, they're talking about how great the receiving core is, but that quarterback always finds a way to screw up in big games. And although he's a cinch for the Hall of Fame, I guess. But here we go. This is a scary injury with Bosa, and they got to be holding their breath out there. I'm waiting to see with the Chargers, and I know everybody thinks they're going to be great this year because they finished strong last year, but they find ways, or they're cursed. One of the two things happens to them.
Well, we've seen injuries curtail a lot of seasons, and you're 100% right. I mean, look at the Texans last year. They lost everybody, ended up at the bottom of the conference after winning it the previous 2 years. Andrew Luck has missed 2 years. He's coming back, and, you get...
Yeah, but it always happens to the Chargers somehow.
They have been, with the talent that they have had over the years, either bad coaching or bad luck, has really curtailed them. They should have been a lot better. They should have won. You go back many years when Schottenheimer was there and LT was there and there was a lot of talent, but they just haven't been able to get over the hump for one reason or another. Now, of course, they lost their city and they had to move. I mean, it's just been a mess. But you're right. Baseball is, you said you're bored with baseball. Yeah, it's the same talk every day, but bottom line, we got to make customers money, and that's what we've been doing. You have a lot of horse racing this weekend, Hank?
No, nothing big this weekend.
Okay. Well, listen, Hank's plays.
I'm focusing on football right now. They're going to start to play games. I'm going to watch as many as I can. I'm interested in the camp talk that's going on right now, and the injuries. The degree of injuries that are occurring and the teams that are making moves to replace guys that are hurt. I want to see what Luck does this week against Seattle. He's probably going to play a quarter, maybe a little more, depending on how long their drives are sustained early. That's going to be an interesting game to watch. And he's going against, a Pete Carroll team that is maybe in a little bit of trouble. They're losing a lot of guys on their defense, but Pete's a very competitive coach. I think he's going to come at Luck. It won't be an easy start for Luck. He's not going to just stand back there and throw as he pleases. So that'll be an interesting game to watch of all the preseason games.
One of the things that people can focus on in preseason, if you know defenses that might blitz during the preseason, you have an advantage. But it's kind of been an unwritten rule that defenses don't do that very much. But once in a while, you'll get a coach that'll let it loose. And the offensive lines are not used to and not together yet. So a blitzing defense, if you're going to get some of that, you do have an edge with that team, because hardly anybody is doing it in preseason because they're trying to avoid injuries. So it's kind of like, if I do it, they're going to do it, and so they stay away from it. But every once in a while, you get a coach that goes outside the lines, kind of coloring book stuff. And, Seattle's in trouble for the regular season, because they really have lost, like you said, a lot. But in this case, it is a preseason game. They do have a home field. They like to show off. Pete Carroll has always liked to show off. Got a lot of new coaches in Indianapolis.
I got to go. They're calling me for dialysis.
Okay, Hank. Have a good day. Everybody at JimFeist.com for Hank's plays and my plays. That's JimFeist.com. Thank you, Hank.
By the way, I got one quick note. Detroit is playing the Raiders. This is not a big road game for Detroit because they've been scrimmaging against them all week. That's it. Adios.
Okay, bye-bye.